we've identified 4 barriers to delivering better and higher quality services. One is unclear vision. Okay, so unclear vision and strategies. This is a gap in leadership of not setting high expectations for each ministry and each agency. 2, ministry consists of multiple departments. How do we get synergies across those departments? How do they work together? So each one fulfills its particular role, but also builds on what is being done by the other departments within that ministry. 3, most of the organizations do not link resources to their strategic vision and plan. They consider those separate processes. So we do strategy and vision, and then separately, the finance people do budgets. The result is resources are not aligned with the strategy and the investment in infrastructure, in roads, in ports, railroads, telecommunications, and that makes people better off. But to solve these problems, to create that value in the communities, businesses can't do it by themselves. So you can take very enlightened businesses and put them in a very badly governed country, like Venezuela or Bolivia or Argentina or Greece. And there's almost nothing that a company can do, or even collection of companies, to make the citizens better off, because the governments are so dysfunctional and ineffective and inefficient that it overwhelms even the best interests of corporations. So actually, businesses can't be successful in unsuccessful communities. And I think businesses recognize that. The converse is also true. Communities cannot be successful without a very vibrant, successful business community. Because ultimately, it's the private sector that creates wealth and jobs and income. And so one of the best things you can do as a community or as a region is to encourage the establishment and growth of corporations. I mean, it's kind of obvious if you look at the data, but many governments don't perform this way. They make it difficult for corporations to start. 365 days before strategies don't get implemented. And then finally, we lack measurements of what we're trying to accomplish. And if we lack measurements, we don't know how we're doing. Are we achieving the results or falling short? We lack feedback on where things are working and where they're not. Where are their best practices and where are the not such good practices? Indonesia has 34 provinces, I've learned, across your thousands and thousands of islands. 34 provinces are a laboratory. As your agencies are doing work across 34 provinces, which are the top 10%? Which are the top performing, 3 or 4? Which are the least performing, 3 or 4? Without measurement, we don't know. But with measurement, we know who are the top 10%. They're the ones who should teach the others. And the bottom 10% and the 20% realize we're underperforming. So how do we use the diversity we have in this country of delivering the same services and processes, 34 different regions? If we have measurement, we know where things are working and where there's innovation. There could be great innovation we wouldn't know if we don't measure. We don't know where there's underperformance, who needs to improve. So the idea of measurement, to monitor how well we're doing on our strategy, and to learn and to transfer best practices is very powerful. I'm doing a great deal of work now in healthcare. And we don't need really any more innovation in healthcare to have dramatic improvements. If we could just get the provider organizations, the hospitals and the physicians, who are performing today below the median, and get them to the median, there would be an enormous improvement in healthcare and a dramatic lowering of cost. without any new invention in healthcare. Just improve lower performance, get to the average, which is not a stretch because half the organization's already performing above that level. That's what we mean by the median. But if we don't measure, we don't know who's in the 10th percent, the 50th percentile, or the 90th percentile. And we can measure every one of the services that the government agencies are delivering. So measurement is powerful. Measurement of outcomes, not measurement of how many people showed up for work, not measurements of number of hours of training. Those are inputs, not outcomes. Outcomes are how much knowledge has the people gained? Do they have the skills required to do the work? Not that they sit in a class for so many hours. So measurements of outcome is the single most powerful thing you can do to transform and improve the performance of any organization. So when we say unclear vision and strategy, let's go back through these four barriers. These are what we hear from people in the agencies. I don't think our leadership agrees on what the priorities are for our agency. They keep changing. And every time there's a new political change, the vision and the objectives change. We have a complicated strategy, nobody understands it. And an example of not having a strategy is we're doing too many things. Strategy is not only what we intend to do, but what we don't intend to do. A strategy gives you the ability to say no. We're not doing this, this is not a priority. Without a strategy, leaders and managers don't know how to say no, particularly in a political or in a nonprofit organization. Lack of organizational alignment. You know, we all exist in silos. We don't communicate with each other. We don't work well across organizational lines. We have local initiatives. We don't have ministry-wide initiatives. That prevents us from working together to tackle big problems.